Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to Impy, your friendly catamaran. So those of you who follow our travels will know that we are a couple sailing around the world, having left South Africa some years ago now. Right, so those folks following our travels will also know that we are currently sailing around beautiful New Caledonia and were lost in the Loyalty Islands, departing Lifou for Uvia. Arriving at Uvia is a delight to the eyes. After all, this is the place referred to as the island closest to paradise, and we can see why. The place seems to play in the sunshine, these beautiful blue skies, waters of turquoise held by the longest white sandy beaches we have seen in a long time. The green coconut fronds dance lightly to a subtle breeze, and yes, an initial visit here has one in heaven on earth. The lagoon is registered by UNESCO as part of the World Heritage of Humanity, and Uvia received its stamp Islands Closest to Paradise in the 70s from a young Japanese writer called Katsura Morimura, who stayed here in Uvia for a while. Okay, while we want to keep things positive, history is still history, and this is also an island of many a battle, including the Uvia cave hostage-taking, which occurred in April and May of 1988. And while some facts seem unclear, the reality seems to be that some political Kanaki parties killed 4 gendarmes, which are French police. They took 27 gendarmes, a public prosecutor, and 7 members of the French military unit hostage. They demanded talks with France, calling for independence for New Caledonia from France. The French government said that it refused to negotiate with terrorists, and it sent in a joint hostage recovery team. Well, 19 hostage takers and 2 members of the recovery team were killed in the assault. Now, one can hardly believe all this took place in such a beautiful part of our world. But to this day, we know of folks living in Namibia who refuse to visit these islands because they say they still feel the pain of it all. Yeah, so we here in the Loyalty Islands, and it's really beautiful here. I'm trying to figure out the microphone on this camera. You know, we've tried everything, man, to try and prevent wind noise, and I'm just hoping we don't have too much wind noise. Every time I put a sponge on it or I put it into a closed encasement, it raises my voice pitch probably 3 or 4 times above what it really is. Men out there start thinking I'm not that much of a man anymore. So I'm trying to just do it with the camera as it is now, and just pay attention to the location of the wind in relation to, you know, where I'm actually filming. Anyway, we've arrived here in the Loyalty Islands. This is a little island called Uvia. It's absolutely fantastic. We're in a little bay called Mouli. M-O-U-L-I, I think, and it's beautiful. Oh yeah! This place is beautiful. Unbelievable. What do you say, Fred? Beautiful. It's beautiful, huh? Yeah. Yeah, what do you say, love? Look at that butterfly. Butterfly? Big butterfly. Ah, and I see butterflies flying along the beaches. Guys, this is paradise, man. We've put the dinghy out there. We've had to anchor it. It's quite a steep slope, and if the tide comes up, we've noticed the locals keep their boats a little offshore there. Yeah, it's well. This is well. Very nice, nice day. Anna's going to take some photos here. Impi anchored out there. Serafina anchored out there. How does one describe being here? It's really beautiful, huh? It's really, really beautiful. Lovely soft sand. Beautiful white color. Okay, the sun's out, you know, it makes a difference. And beautiful palm trees. You know, it's paradise, man. It's really, this is a fantastic place. I think we need to stay here a while. Okay, so here in the Loyalty Islands, it is customary to do what they call La Coutume, which is an introduction and an offering of a small gift when entering tribal lands in New Caledonia. So here we are searching for the chief's residence in order to introduce ourselves and present gifts, which is historically cloth materials, some tobacco, and maybe some other items of fancy. The Grand Chiefery. Well, we arrived at the chief's place of residence, called out from the entrance, no answer, so made our way in to see if we could make any contact with someone. Well, no luck, and no one seemed to be home.
I'll just go and ask this woman, baby.
Yes, okay, love.
Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour.
Vous avez été à l'église? Oui, oui. C'est bien. Le palais, le château. Oui, il est animé. D'accord. Alors, il faut voir un représentant. It doesn't seem that there are a lot of people.
Okay, so Anna spoke to these ladies about seeing the chief because it's customary to give the chief a gift when you arrive on his island. They say he's in Numia on chief business, and his children apparently live next door, so we'll see if we and this over there. And we'll see if we present the gifts to the children, maybe. Bonjour. You want to ask him?
Bonjour.
On ne voulait pas instruire, mais on voulait juste faire la coutume. Le chef n'est pas là, les dames m'ont dit. C'est pour la famille, non?
Okay, so at this point while we're walking with the man, Anna asks if we could video the greeting, to which he replies, yes we can. The video is okay.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Dis bonjour quand vous arrivez.
Brent.
Ça va? Asseyez-vous.
Yeah, Afrique du Sud. Bonjour, how you doing?
Asseyez-vous, asseyez-vous.
Bonjour, how you doing? Good?
On fait pas des photos, vous voulez quoi? On attend de faire des photos, mais vous voulez quoi? Parce qu'on fait pas des photos comme ça.
C'est une vidéo.
Ouais?
C'est une vidéo.
C'est payé, non? C'est non?
C'est comme la télévision.
Ouais, parce que vous vous ratez pas comme ça, c'est les gens comme ça. On pense que vous avez fait quelque chose.
Je suis venue faire.
Asseyez-vous, asseyez-vous, monsieur. Asseyez-vous. Ok, monsieur. Asseyez-vous.
He says the Americano must sit there in the big seat.
Donc vous êtes la famille des grands chefs, c'est ça? Vous vous appelez comment?
Nous, on est les porte-parole de la chefferie. Voilà les vieux là, qui représentent la chefferie.
D'accord. Vous vous appelez comment?
Là, c'est dans l'écran.
Gérald? D'accord.
Okay, so here begins a whole new story. Once the spokesman establishes the camera is turned off, he proceeds with a meeting and tells us it's in order to present the gift to the chief's son. Our first mistake here seems to be that Anna presents the gift, where in fact they would like a male to present the gift. We thought since Anna speaks French, and neither Fred nor I speak French, it would be in order for her to present the gift. After all, in today's day and age, we surely regard women as our equal. But, it doesn't seem so here. Well, the spokesman proceeds to inform us that we need to present money for every activity on the island that we want to do. And the price varies according on what we're going to do. It's not cheap, but we need to pay to be on the beach, we need to be accompanied by a guide on the beach, to walk through the town, to swim and dive, to do any sort of activity, to be anchored there, and so on. Well, we question this, as nowhere have we read about such a requirement, and the spokesman becomes suddenly aggressive and angry at us. Okay, so it becomes awkward. We decide to leave and set sail for another part of the island, but as we leave our seats, the chief's son asks us please to return, in spite of the spokesman encouraging us to depart. The spokesman then suddenly has a turnaround. He apologizes, becomes the sweetest man ever, does not know why he suddenly became angry, he says. Perhaps he is not having a good day. Well, this volatility surprises us. But hey, we tell him some of the best friendships come out of the worst of arguments, so perhaps to the future we will be good friends. So we diffuse it this way, and we are then offered coffee, which we accept, and everything calms down again. I can take a short video? Short? I take just a short video? All good, guys. All good. I like the little one playing there. All good. Good. Very nice guys, man. Thank you. Well, okay, now that was a fairly awkward meeting, right? Thank goodness the chief's son turned out to be a really nice guy, as otherwise things could have become violent. We wonder if perhaps some previous sailors had caused the folks to feel this way. We just don't know. On the other hand, it could just be that the folks were trying their luck, and Anna had to remind them of the words of their great chief from years gone by, who told the people not to commercialize or make business of the welcoming gesture, and the presentation of a small gift which they know as lakatum. He specifically warned against this, and we believe it is necessary to keep the folks honest for the sakes of those who follow our footsteps. Anyway, as they say in the classics, all is well that ends well. So let's go check out this island. Okay, you may recall from my video of Lafou Island, here in the Loyalty Islands, I mentioned two religions which dominate the Loyalty Islands with a little bit of history, namely the Catholic religion and the Protestant religion. Well, this church is a Catholic church built in the 19th century, in fact built in 1857. In the 1870s, there was a religious war between the Protestants and Catholics, which led to the Protestants being banished to the main island. Oh, whatever. Yeah, and back on these beautiful shores, and as we stroll and feel this powdery sand beneath our feet, and yet here in this amazing paradise, my mind is constantly drawn back to the days of old, to the past. I guess we find it written on the faces of some here on the island. They seem to be stuck a little on the history of the past. It's hard to imagine these ships arriving here to these pristine shores, a practice back then called blackbirding. In the days back in 1865, after the abolishment of slavery, blackbirding was a practice to lure locals onto their ships. The contracts were signed. Well, in some cases folks were reported kidnapped, taken to Australia to work in the sugar plantations, where they earned not enough money to find their way back home. So despite the Loyalty Islands having been declared a native reserve, the French annexed them, putting an end effectively to this practice. Oh man, and whilst we were here on the beach, we met an amazing young couple who had come in from the mainland for the weekend. Now meet Elvis and Anaïs. Elvis has roots back on an island we loved in French Polynesia, one called Raiatea. In fact, he descends from Polynesian royalty back there, and explained much of how Polynesian culture operates. Cool people, man. Yeah, that guy's name is Elvis. We found this fascinating, especially since this island has a mixture of descendants, some from Polynesian background, from Wallace and Fortuna, together with some Samoans, the others from Melanesian culture. So 2 languages are spoken here apart from French, Polynesian and Kanak language. Anaïs has a degree in environmental science and did a thesis on geckos. And of course geckos in New Caledonia are very important in the ecosystem, here with folks from all over the world having interest in New Caledonian geckos. And speaking of geckos in New Caledonia, we received a delightful message on Facebook from a young man, Tomo Davis, who studies New Caledonian geckos and wrote to tell us of the geckos on Morrow Island where we recently visited. Well, thanks to Tomo, we get to post these photos with his permission. Now, geckos are special creatures believed to be closely related to birds. Anna and I can really vouch for the incredible loud noises they make, which sometimes have us fooled for being bird calls. They also make a very distinctive mating call, which we find off-putting. But hey, different strokes for different folks, right? They make loud noises in the trees here in New Caledonia. Some of the local folks here refer to them as the devil in the trees. Okay, so time to move along, and back on MP, we lift anchor to set sail for our next destination, the main village here called Whaiawe. Well, we had no wind to speak of on this particular trip, and sailing was out of the question. However, it was a magnificent day. The water and coastline just spectacular in the sunshine. What an awesome place to be. And now these beaches tempt one to bring the boat in closer shore. However, the seabed is hard for a long distance out, requiring one to drop anchor further away where the sand is deeper. A lot of anchoring closer shore in Uvea is not possible, even where all appears to be sand, and mostly this is because the sand is too thin in covering the hard material below. The anchor drops in, but does not penetrate deep enough for good holding during the night. Bonjour! We so love to see the kids being trained in sailing. They always seem to be so free and natural. And we must say the French do a terrific job at encouraging the youngsters to enjoy their natural environment. And a little town called Whaiawe. Let's go and check this out, man. So fairly interesting for us is that as we got closer to the beach, the water became slimy green. Now, slimy is the correct description for it. Drop a rope or anchor in the water, and you are sure to pull up masses of slimy grass. Well, this surprised us. However, some of the locals explained that this occurrence is seasonal. Another island to visit. This is Whaiawe. Previous beach and bay was a lot nicer. This has got a lot more dark color in the water. It looks like grass more than anything else. Very light blue over there against the sand though. Yeah. So let's go check that out. Oh, it's getting nice and blue right up here against the beach. Okay, so Anna was sharp enough to check the tide and she says it's coming in. So we're going to have to anchor the bow off the beach.
Nice, huh?
Almost as pretty as you, baby. Picking up shells again. So most certainly this island, well, this island is actually an atoll, Uvia. And most certainly the previous village we visited was not as friendly in reception. In fact, on this particular place we're just visiting. We're not interested in putting up with people who get aggressive, so we're not visiting a chief in Iowa. We've just decided after the last experience, we've cleared into France. It's a French immigration thing. It's customary to see the chiefs, but the last visit wasn't exactly friendly. And so now we're just going to be enjoying the islands under sort of French tourism. Yeah, and I must say though that the previous beach was definitely a lot more pretty than this one. This one's beautiful, but the brown that you see here is actually it's like a grass. It's a grass which is normally good for turtles, but the other one had more sand, you know, and so going into the water, and so it appeared a lot cleaner. But Anna's finding some amazing shells here, and she's enjoying herself. She loves walking on this beach and collecting some awesome shells there, love.
Shades of pink. I mean the dirty.
Well folks, let us just also say this, that apart from our not so friendly initial welcome, the people in general, you know, on the streets and the beaches on this island are incredibly friendly. We got a number of waves and smiles as folks greeted us from afar. We also have many friends who sailed in since our visit to Uvia, who say that they had an extremely friendly welcome. Well, perhaps our timing and arrival, with the chiefs having left for a conference in Noumea, found us in a different climate. We are not sure what the conference was all about, but perhaps our timing could have been better. Now, in general, we believe tourists are truly welcome to this island. But speaking with some of the local people posted on the island, it has been known sometimes to be volatile, and the unsuspecting sailors sailing into these islands would do well to keep this in mind. We do know of sailors who sailed further north to the little village of St. Joseph's to obtain permission to visit the little atoll to the north of Uvia, called Bouton-Beaupré, who obtained the permissions in St. Joseph's to visit it, but on arrival in Bouton-Beaupré were met with hostility. Now, some sailors here say that their anchors were tampered with. Some have had ropes cut. Youths shouted at them for the yachts to leave with tremendous aggression. We wonder what has brought this on. Perhaps sailors are diving out too much crayfish, being disrespectful. We just do not know. But apparently there are good days and bad days, so it's kind of like potluck as to how you will find yourself being treated. The local French people tell us there is conflict in the tribes. Even if you obtain permission from one, there may be another who disagrees. I guess it's different for folks arriving by commercial transport, who then pay to be ferried around. But with sailing boats sailing in there, it becomes a little more tricky. Now here is a funny story. Anna and I were strolling along the beach when suddenly Anna spots a goat running along with a rope dragging behind it. Well, Anna used to own goats, and she was really worried that the goat would get tangled up in the rope, fall off an object and hang itself, or something like that. Well, here she is, in hot pursuit, as the goat bleats and tries to get away. A bewildered woman is standing on the beach. She looks on as Anna catches up with the goat. She looks at the lady and says, "This goat must have broken free." The lady says, "No, that is my goat, and I'm taking it for a walk." It turns out this lady is the wife of the gendarme, or the French policeman on the island. Oh dear. Well, at least she had a terrific sense of humor, and it was nice to hear more about the island from her perspective. Okay, well, the next day we sailed for St. Joseph's to ask permission to visit Bouton-Pourbrey, the atoll we spoke of earlier, where youngsters apparently can become aggressive with visiting yachts in spite of the necessary permission. The weather was setting in, the anchorage was fast becoming untenable, and perhaps there was a message in this for us to just move along. Well, we lay to anchor for a while of St. Joseph before deciding to head back for the east coast of the main island of New Caledonia, a place called Yengen. Right, so Uvea will always be what we consider to be a most beautiful island. We really hope it finds a peaceful spirit among its leaders. The people there are friendly, and they really deserve this. Would we recommend cruising yachts to visit the Loyalties? Oh yeah, these islands are not to be missed. We have many friends who have been here and really enjoyed their stay. Happy weekend everyone, MP out. Right folks, well, as we sign out with the music and everything, we realized this video was slow in coming out. We try our best. However, we have been fairly engaged with the local community in New Caledonia who have been very kind to us. The work around Moose, the abandoned island dog, and then of course sailing to as many islands as possible, gathering video footage before cyclone season arrives. Our videos are fairly recent footage of what we have done. We have a follower on YouTube who goes by the name Old Guy. Check him out. So Tom, here's to you mate. You are the reason we stayed put at anchor all day to finish this one up. To all those who asked me to please continue with technical aspects of sailing, I give you my word, I will get busy with that. Please don't forget to check our online store through Amazon affiliation program. We run a program called Help Us to Help Others. Cheers everyone. Arriving at Uvea is a delight to the eyes. After all, this is the place referred to as the island closest to paradise, and we can see why. The place seems to play in the sunshine, these beautiful blue skies, waters of turquoise held by the longest white sandy beaches we have seen in a long time. The green coconut fronds dance lightly to a subtle breeze, and yes, an initial visit here has one in heaven on earth. The lagoon is registered by UNESCO as part of the World Heritage of Humanity, and Uvea received its stamp Islands Closest to Islands, departing Lifou for Uvea. Paradise in the 70s from a young Japanese writer called Katsura Morimura, who stayed here in Uvea for a while. Okay, while we want to keep things positive, history is still history, and this is also an island of many a battle, including the Uvea cave hostage-taking, which occurred in April and May of 1988. And while some facts seem unclear, the reality seems to be that some political Kanaki parties killed 4 gendarmes, which are French police. They took 27 gendarmes, a public prosecutor, and 7 members of the French military unit hostage. They demanded talks with France, calling for independence for New... Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to Impi, your friendly catamaran. So those of you who follow our travels will know that we are a couple sailing around the world, having left South Africa some years ago now. Right, so those folks following our travels will also know that we are currently sailing around beautiful New Caledonia, and were lost in the Loyalty